Well, I would like to welcome Anna Mancini. We are doing our very first interview for our practitioner listing, and Anna gets to be the very first one being interviewed. And how exciting is that?
Very exciting.
So, we had talked a little bit before the interview about what was really driving you to enter the coaching field. And I'm just curious, as your life unfolded and you became interested in coaching, what was it that actually drew you into the field?
Hmm. Um, I think my own personal experience with transformation is really what drew me to life coaching. Just seeing how much I could change and knowing that most of the changes that I made, I did um, relatively on my own. And I wanted to be a guide and a support person for anyone who was ready to make a complete transformation in their lives and they didn't want to do it alone. They wanted to have a little support.
Right. So you actually kind of had to muscle your way through change.
Yes.
You know,
Very
I
much so.
it's kind of interesting because when I talk to people, especially when I'm coaching people through like relationship issues, that kind of stuff, I always say to them, "I wish I had a me back when I was younger." Because sometimes it is a little challenging to navigate those changes on your own. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that coaching can certainly offer a person another perspective, another way of looking at a situation so that maybe they can transition into a new way of being in an easier way.
Absolutely. I think it took me about 3 years to really turn my life around. And if I would have had the skills that I have now after graduating from Thrive, it probably would have taken me about 6 months if I were doing it with a coach.
Right. It's hard to explain that experience to somebody, isn't
Yes.
it? So what do you like mostly about the work that you do now?
Mm. Um, I love seeing the almost immediate transformation in people. I've had clients walk into a session and it's hard for them to even, look at the computer screen or look me in the eyes.
Mhm.
And, their body language just tells this story that, maybe they're really upset or insecure. And by the end of the session, when they have a smile on their face and they're telling me about all their dreams and aspirations and they couldn't even get to that place in the beginning of our session, that's what my absolute favorite part is.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know, when I first started coaching, I had an office in downtown Burlington, Vermont,
Mhm.
and I always remember chuckling about this. I was on the main floor, and then there was two psychologists above me. And I had how my office was situated. There was a window that I could see how everybody that was coming in to see the other practitioners, and all those people, they would come in, they look sad, and they'd come out and look sad, and some of them, would do it twice a week, and I was thinking, wow.
Mhm.
And then one time, one of the practitioners said to me, she came down to my office, and she goes, "What do you do here? Because all of your people walk out happy." And so we both got to get to experience that happiness is really just a thought away.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can guide people to be more resourceful, it's quite satisfying as a practitioner, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And when they become in touch with those positive emotions, that just makes them want to create more change. Um, I think that if I were to focus on the problem with them, why would they really want to come back to me, or why would they want to make change in their life um, when you have them like shake hands with what they really want, it just drives them even more.
Right. And sometimes I think a coach's role is for the first time in a person's life, they might be introduced to what could be in their life.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, who would you say would be your perfect client?
I think my perfect client is someone who has been through a lot and is really just ready to completely change their life, just totally turn it around, and someone who realizes that the minor changes really have a huge ripple effect.
So, what are some of the comments that your clients tell you after they've been working with you?
Mm. Um, that they haven't felt this way in so long.
Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of the times after the hypnotherapy sessions, they'll say, oh my gosh, like everything in my life has just changed. I don't even know what happened.
It's called the stealth change maneuver. So, were you interested in hypnotherapy to begin with?
I
Okay.
wasn't even familiar with it. And hypnotherapy is the foundation of my practice, NLP and hypnotherapy. And I was introduced to hypnotherapy through Thrive. So I feel like I would not be as powerful of a coach without it.
Right.
And I absolutely love it. I mean, I love writing my own scripts and creating the metaphors and really, really molding the hypnotherapy experience to the client.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you take the time to really customize your program for your client.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful. And so would you say that you attract people that are in transition, or people who are more related, looking to improve their health? Is there a common theme with your clients?
The theme with my clients right now has been people who are kind of at rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, they're completely fed up. They're like, I cannot live this way anymore. And it's usually people who want to get more in touch with themselves. So rather than, people coming to me that are focused on like a business or a relationship, it's like they really need to connect deeper with themselves because they see that connection affects every other part of their life. And they see that if they keep going down the road that they're on, there's really no light.
Right. That's what the cool thing about coaching is too, is that, I think we're really good at guiding people to get the feeling within themselves instead of looking outside of themselves to attain that feeling.
Absolutely.
And most people don't even know how to do that. They're not even aware that they are looking outside of themselves. It's like when I was actually working with a gal that kept on, when she's going to have this house, she's going to be happy. When she had this perfect car, she'd be happy. And the perfect husband, she'd be happy. And guess what? She had all of them and she wasn't happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so through our various techniques in NLP and hypnotherapy, it is so wonderful that we can point those our clients in the right direction so that their unconscious mind can be pulled towards and actually be aligned with what they really want to achieve.
Absolutely. And I think that the clients that I'm attracting have gone through okay, I have the house, I have the car, I have the job, I have the relationship, I'm still not happy. Like
Mm-hmm.
And then they realize this is all from within me.
Right.
And
what do they say? Happiness is an inside job.
Mm-hmm.
Great. That's awesome. So what do you think that your biggest gift has been in your life?
I think my biggest gift has been probably all of the challenges that I've faced.
Yeah.
I feel like I had a pretty rough time as a young adult, as a teenager, and I think that all of those challenges have really made me just be grateful for where I am today,
Mm-hmm.
and just experiencing loss at a young age really made me just be so thankful for the people that I do have in my life. And it's just really allowed me this level of awareness and presence to what things are a gift in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because these challenges actually, everybody has challenges in life. It's how we deal with the challenge that makes the difference.
Exactly.
So, so you think that your challenges have allowed you to actually grow and evolve in a way that you probably wouldn't have been able to do.
Exactly.
It's like it's built resiliency in you.
Exactly. And I think that, part of the reason that the clients that come to me are kind of at rock bottom is because I was at that place and I was able to pull myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, the more challenges we have, the greater the change we can make within ourselves.
I find that a lot with working with parents and their children. I know that you have an interest in doing that as well, and how oftentimes parents think that the more they do for their child or the more they give their child, the better it will be for that child. And in actuality, because we're hypnotists, we understand that in order to handle a situation, we need to have some type of pattern in our unconscious mind to show us how to do it. And if parents are always doing everything for their child doesn't have those patterns. And so then they get into college and young adulthood and they're all overwhelmed because they haven't had the opportunity to build, remember, those little micro changes to have a macro effect in their life. So yeah, that's pretty cool that we get to demystify failure for a person, because the only reason why a person doesn't do something that they want to do is they don't have a pattern in that unconscious mind to do it.
Absolutely.
So we kind of are pattern makers in a way, of sorts. So let me ask you this. When you're working with clients, do people have to come in person to you, or how do you typically work with clients?
Most of my clients I do over a video call, so whether it's Zoom or Skype. And then I do have some in-person clients, and I just have an office in my home.
Okay.
In
Excellent.
Sedona, and that's where they come see me.
So you make it pretty easy for them to get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
Okay. And typically, how long do you work with a client?
Typically, my sessions are an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then is it just one session, two sessions?
I would say the minimum is 6 sessions. I think to really go deep with a coach and get to that level of vulnerability, you really want to invest. And so investing in your time, showing that you can show up on time and be fully present for the whole session creates change in itself. Knowing that you're showing up for you.
And you're taking responsibility for you.
Exactly.
Excellent. So do people come to you for like weight loss, stop smoking, that kind of stuff?
I've had people come to me for weight loss. I have people come to me for depression, anxiety, recovery coaching, people who are out of treatment and just want to get back on track. So it's kind of like what a sponsor would be in AA, something like that. And then really just getting more in touch with themselves. I do a lot of work with just like emotional intelligence, connecting to all these feelings. I have people come to me saying, I react in this way all the time and I don't know why. And so we can just kind of uncover that and then create a new pattern for how they would like to react to a situation.
I think it's amazing when, I'm sure you find this as well, is when we ask our clients what they feel. How many of our clients tell us a behavior, because our society has gotten so out of touch with an awareness of a feeling, and especially with all the stress and the having people their back to the wall with all sorts of deadlines and pressures of all different people contacting them simultaneously. You got your cell phone going off, you have your messages going off, your computer's going off, and so people are on alert. And to feel is like a luxury, like, oh my gosh. And for us to create that safe space for people to actually explore their feelings and become aware of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Very cool. So, how would most people get a hold of you through your Facebook business page now?
Yes. My Facebook business page is the primary way that people contact me, and then word of mouth.
Excellent. So you get a lot of referrals.
Yeah.
So how would you describe you as a coach compared to the traditional coaches out there?
I think that because I have the hypnotherapy background, it's just really getting into the unconscious mind. And when I like to think of hypnotherapy as like the key to the door of the unconscious mind. And when you have that key, the change is so natural. There's no more trying. There's no more pushing yourself. It's just all of a sudden you're making these steps to the changes that you want to make, and you're like, wait, I wasn't doing this a month ago. So I think that with the hypnotherapy and the NLP, that really sets me aside from other coaches, and I think thrive for that. And
well, it's kind of cool too, because when you look at it, we can be accountability coaches. We have the tools to do that. But I really think of us as agents of change, that we actually guide people to make true lasting change. And remember when we were talking before the interview and how you were saying a lot of your clients, the change is so subtle that all of a sudden they find themselves going, wait a minute, I can't even believe I'm not doing that anymore. And it's hard to believe that something so simple and so easy can make such a huge change. I mean, people don't have to stay in their pain to make change.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that that's another thing that sets me apart from the traditional coaches is I think that change is not only made faster, but it's easier to make the changes. And, rather than really focusing on like the external goals, we're focusing on the internal goals and then moving outward. So, if I have a client that comes to me saying that they, really want to build their business or something like that, rather than, holding them accountable to do all the steps to build their business, I'm going to get them aligned emotionally, and then the business will create itself.
Wow. Excellent. So you do offer a program in kind of life planning as well. I think you offer that dream sculpting package. So people can take one area of life and really hone in on what they want and be able to align their belief systems and their behavior patterns to achieve that goal.
Yeah, that is absolute magic.
Yes. And that's a little bit of a longer term commitment?
It is. It's a 12-week program. And it does offer some of the accountability for those who want it. However, it's aligning your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, beliefs with your goal.
Excellent. Well, Anna, thank you so much. It was just, it's so exciting. It's exciting for you to be in this business and have such wisdom to guide your clients to have a better life, to be a happier person, and to make the world a better place. So I'm excited that you're on the Thrive Tribe team, and it's just wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Sandra.